Okay, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Beyond the White Noise Network. Tonight we have on Ricky Gervais, believe it or not, otherwise known as Gary Fisher. All right, my co-host Mo Gunnery, me myself. I've been called Fat Kurt Meatloaf Logston, and
John
we're going to
Candy.
kick it off. We're going to kick it off tonight about Paranormal Unity. And
Yeah.
first off, we're going to do
Just first things first. I'm sorry for interrupting, right? But we're doing a show on Paranormal Unity, and for the past 25 minutes, all we've done is terrorize each other and pick on each other and hate on each other.
But
And
we
we're about
know
to
each
do-
other, though. That's the
We're
best
about
part.
to
Is what people don't understand is that I can contact Gary, he'll get right back to me, and vice versa. You know, we do have questions, or how do you do this? How do you do that? Or Mo the same way. So, I mean, we work well together in a sense, and people don't understand that.
Why
You might have
do
not.
birds suddenly? Oh, sorry. Oh,
Gee.
I thought you needed.
Oh my God, Gary! I apologize for that. My sister tends to sing with her beard and stuff like that. Oh, there we go. There we go. There you go. It's the bro man crush.
What type
the
of
bro crush?
What type of unity are you looking for, Kit?
Paranormal Unity, sir. We are not looking for this. We are looking for Paranormal Unity.
Kit, is it true that you're doing a paranormal dating site?
Yeah, but you know we're using you as the front man, and whatever
Well,
else, what other guy gets on there, we don't know.
I'd suggest you do. I'd make a very good poster person for a show like that, or for a website like that. Clearly, I mean,
But you got the boy band look, bro.
well,
I mean,
out
with that boy
of
band,
the three of us, I happen to be the nicest looking.
well, it's okay. It's okay. But we love
Why not?
the part. The part that we love about it is
Natalie just informed me to the side. She was like, "You're going to start a paranormal dating site? Well, fine. No more wife then." So on that bombshell, guys, Kate, can I sleep on your couch?
Yeah, as long as you don't try to spoon me. Yeah, that's cool, dude.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah, I wanted to ruin that with that thought right there. Meaning you're staying with your wife because she does cook for you, dude. She does take care of you, and she does walk the dog.
Kurt, Ricky Gervais, I actually take that as a compliment because normally I get Fat Pat and Oswald.
Well, look at me. I'm called Meatloaf. I mean, I'm like, Jesus.
Yeah, but Meatloaf was cool in the 70s. I mean,
Just like Kate. That's something that both got
Oh,
in.
that's great. That's just great enough. Yes, we are doing a paranormal dating site, Natalie. Mo and I have been talking about it for the last 3 weeks now. So, yeah.
Oh, dude, what the wow! I'm not even going to swear. I'm going to try and take this entire show because I know the way the show's going to go. I want to take it without swearing. The entire show from start to finish. I want to do it without swearing. And I'm going to probably
yeah, let's effing do it.
After about 12 seconds.
It doesn't count.
Yeah, starting again from now. I know what's going to happen. A few minutes in, I'll just go and come out with it. Oh, right. Okay, well, sorry, Kate. As you were saying before we go to the news, right, how has your week been so far, Kate?
My week's been pretty good, dude. Actually, I've got tickets around to fly to Missouri February 1st.
Cool.
And it's Lynette's birthday. And I got to get her house all ready to try to get her moving up here. And aside
Excellent.
yeah. So, but I told her that she's got all decorating rights, and I have none. And which is good because if you see the way I decorate my house, I got tattoo posters all over, and that's it. And doesn't go well. Doesn't go well.
Mags everywhere.
What'd you say?
Porn mags everywhere. Oh,
Okay, Mo, how was your week, sir?
Oh, dude, my week's been a hard week. I've been in work all week, and if I'm not in work, I'm on the bus on the way home. If I'm not on the bus, I'm asleep when I get home. I haven't literally done nothing with regards to the paranormal whatsoever this week. Sorry, correct me, I'm totally wrong. No, I have done the bare minimum with regards to it. I am still trying to find out where those fucking gallows are. That wasn't a swear word, by the way, because I've got family in Ireland. That's just another word.
But no, you pointed it out to me, though, didn't you?
I did, but I'm still trying to physically find where they are. I know
Like who
where.
owns them?
Yeah, I want to know where they are, not where they were. I need
Try
to
a museum, probably in the basement of a museum.
I've asked the museum. The museum they haven't got a clue. So it's a case of, for everybody who is paying attention for whatever stupid reason you're paying attention to us, I've been trying to find the old gallows for our area for a while now. I found out where they were, but I'm trying to physically find them. Because when gallows are normally finished, they have a tendency of turning them into something, a chair or a decorative door or something like that. They get used again, and I'm just really frustrated at the moment that I can't pinpoint where they are. But yeah, that's about as much as I've got into at the moment. That and yeah, that's pretty much it. There's nothing else. I'm boring this week. I've got nothing amazing at all. I've got
at least you're working, dude. I mean, I'm working, you're working, Gary's working. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that aren't working that want to work. That everything's good, man.
Yeah, well, it is. It's all good, and I'm going to do it for a very rare one. What have you been up to, Gary?
Just plugging away at work, like Kurt said. My show's going good. It's grown leaps and bounds. We've been on the air about 6-7 months now. So we're this past January. Well, this January, I've actually doubled up. I'm doing 2 shows a week for the month of January, which is a lot of work. And I'm having some really interesting guests. I just had Brian Cano on last week. I had Andrea Perrin on, who's the inspiration for the movie The Conjuring. And then tomorrow night, we're actually doing a really special one that I'm pretty excited about. It's called The Real Amityville Horror Show. And for those of you that don't know, obviously there was a book written about the story and a movie made from the book. But I have access to the very last interview that George Lutz gave before he passed away. These have only been heard by a few people and never in a public forum. And he's going to explain exactly in his words, what happened. So I'm going to go 2 hours tomorrow night with my friend Tim Yancey, who actually has control of these tapes right now. And we're going to talk about what really happened in Amityville. So I'm pretty stoked about that.
Oh, yeah. Do you know what? Other than the fact that I know where I'll be when you're airing, it'll be in bed. I'm definitely going to catch it as a recording straight after. I need to. But no, that's all good. That's all good. I was going to say, actually, as you were talking about something, when something appears in your head and you go, ooh, and you remember, oh, God, it slipped my mind. Anyway, when it comes back to me, I'll let you know and we'll go on to it. But I've got a little tiny bit of weird news to bring through. Do you remember the Enfield poltergeist?
Yes.
The amazingly repetitive story of a house in Enfield, North London. And everybody at the moment has been saying, in the new movie, The Conjuring 2, the Enfield poltergeist story it's in the film. It's got links to Ed and Lorraine Warren. And it seems the paranormal community's gone nuts over the fact that they were not involved. It was Maurice Grosse and the Centre of the Society for Psychical Research, or something really long and meaningless as a name. Well, you ready for the shock horror parquet?
I just can't. As you do the way you tried to pronounce it, dude. Oh, it was freaking epic. I'm sorry. Keep going, dude. My apologies.
You struggle to get your words out because chicken or a bear.
Keep going.
See. All I hear is fill my mouth with food. Yeah, whatever.
Okay, keep going, though, dude.
Whatever. Right. Anyway, it turns out that I think it was the son-in-law of Ed and Lorraine Warren came forward and said it's absolute bull. They were there. They were there after it all happened, and it was a bit of a weird twist to the story. So if you don't mind, guys, I'm just going to quickly read it out, and then I'll get your opinion straight after it. This guy's he's from the Warren Occult Museum, but he's related to Lorraine Warren and Ed. First, I would ask that everybody who reads this post shares it. I ask if one of those who are truly friends with Ed. I ask it only of those who are truly friends of Ed and Lorraine Warren. This following is my response. There have been articles floating around the internet claiming that Ed and Lorraine Warren never investigated the Enfield poltergeist case. The case is the basis for the upcoming New Line Cinema release of Conjuring 2, The Enfield Poltergeist. An interview with Dave Schrader and Guy Playfair has been floating around online, where Playfair, who was one of the original investigators of the Enfield poltergeist, is disparaging Ed Warren and claiming that they never investigated the house or the family. I write this to counter that false claim. Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren were at the house and conducted an investigation into the supernatural and the preternatural phenomena that was occurring in that small council house. I have in my possession hours of audio recordings of Ed Warren interviewing Peggy, Janet, and Margaret Hodgson, and in those tapes, audio of voices frequently responding to questions from Ed Warren and even interrupting him at times. These voices would issue from the air. Also, a voice known as Parrot Woman could be heard on the audio tapes. There were 2 other investigators in the house accompanying the Warrens, which is Paul Bart, since deceased, and John Kenyeret, alive and well, who will testify to this fact. John was a witness to much of the phenomena, and one incident involved a huge lump of excrement materializing on the floor in front of him. Excrement, for those people who don't speak good England like Kurt, is poop. Okay? Poop. Poop. So John has supplied me dozens of photographic slides that he has taken in the house, and this occurred in 1979. Lorraine was witness to wallpaper peeling from the walls, floating in the air and covering an overhead light. Ed and Lorraine left the house and had gone to a local market to buy some groceries for the family, and while they were there, witnessed a doppelganger of Janet standing outside of the store. In 1981, Ed Warren and Lorraine Warren returned to the house with their daughter, Judy, the guy's wife. While there, Judy witnessed the phenomena herself. A purse that she had placed on the floor beside her mysteriously moved several feet away from her. Could have been kicked, just saying. And fast forward to October 2015, and Lorraine was invited to the set of The Conjuring 2 Enfield Poltergeist. And whilst on the set, Janet and Margaret Hodgson arrived and were met by Lorraine. And the 2 women immediately began crying and hugging and kissing Lorraine. And both remarked that Lorraine and her husband were, as they quoted, the only ones that helped us. Let that sink in. The Warrens were the only ones that helped us. Lorraine and Ed Warren have been taking the stabs and slings and arrows of skeptics and the naysayers and the non-believers and jealous competitors, there's a key word for you by the way, competitors, for years. This article has just one more stab. When you are the pioneers and on top of the occult realm, there will always be someone who will want to knock you off the pedestal. Ed and Lorraine would go out and buy the Hodgson family food because they were a needy family, and Ed and Lorraine felt extreme compassion for them. Did the British investigators do that? I don't think so. There isn't a paranormal reality show or reality star on television today or in the past that doesn't owe a huge debt of gratitude to Ed and Lorraine Warren. They began NESPR, which is the New England Society of Psychic Research, way back in 1952 before most, if not all, so-called, I'm going to do the commas because I love it, demonologists and ghost hunters were even conceived or even thought of in a future parent's minds. The Warrens were the grunts, the ones who laid the groundwork and fought the battles and forged ahead in all the quests to help others. Back in the late 60s, Ed was recognized as being one of only 7 religious demonologists in the nation, 6 being clergy, and Ed the only lay demonologist. Today, if you check the internet, there are probably thousands of people calling themselves demonologists. No, there isn't, is there? That's awkward. Reading a book on demonology and investigating a few homes does not a demonologist make. I knew Ed Warren since 1979. Other than his wife, Lorraine, I have probably spent more time with him than anybody else. I would accompany them on a majority of their lectures, in many cases, and visit Ed at his home. He would always talk about the Enfield case. Literally thousands of people have heard the spirit voices that would issue from thin air in the Enfield house, and Ed plays those audio recordings at most of his lectures. Also keep in mind that Ed Warren visited the house in 1979. The British investigators supposedly were there in 1977 for more than a year. Did they solve anything or help the family in any way? Apparently not, as the phenomena was still occurring when Ed went to the house in 1979. Remember what Janet and Margaret said upon seeing Lorraine on The Conjuring second set. The Warrens were the only one that helped us. Do you know, when I heard that, I was really... See, I'm slightly critical of the Ed and Lorraine Warren. The only reason being is I don't know, they were so quick to be on TV, and it's only as of late I've kind of twisted my opinion on them. I don't believe that they are dragged towards television. I believe in television's dragged them that way.
They went in, I think, with all great intentions.
Yeah.
Because this is prior to all the TV whores out there that I like to call them. And not everyone who's on TV is a TV whore. I don't mean it by that. But the ones are the ones that weren't, that TV didn't come to them, but are scratching at your door.
Yeah.
So they become on TV. They didn't go out that. But then you got to look at guys like Hans Holzer, and even a lot further than that. I give more credit to Hans Holzer than I do the Warrens. But again, that's my opinion. Not worth anything, but that's where it's at.
You know, I have an interesting perspective on that because I just did have Andrea Perrin on my show from The Conjuring 1 last week.
Indeed.
Now, she brought up during the show and wanted to remind everybody that movie is told from the perspective of the case files of Ed and Lorraine Warren.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, as my understanding, Warner Brothers has purchased all of, so they have an opportunity to make many movies under the Conjuring title from cases of Ed and Lorraine Warren, even though those cases have nothing to do with one another. But she brought up the point, and again, this is Andrea saying, it's not my opinion, that she felt like Ed and Lorraine Warren did them more damage than helped them while they were there. And she said the movie didn't reflect that, to the point that because that movie's based off of Ed and Lorraine's case files, and Andrea has her own journal of what happened, she's making a movie about The Conjuring, but won't be called that, but about her experience from her perspective, because she feels like the story didn't get out there.
Am I right in believing that Andrea Perron's the one? She's got 7 journals for her and her sisters and mum. If I'm
She's written 3 volumes about it so far, called House of Darkness, House of Light.
Was it not her dad who knocked Ed Warren out?
Yeah, she said, and he said that. She said that was put mildly. That her dad almost ripped his head off.
Yeah, he
and grabbed them both and threw them out of the house because of what they did with this psychic that they brought in. That caused her mom to fly across the floor and smash her head. She said when they heard her mom's head hit the floor, all of them in the family thought she was dead.
And what happened was Ed Warren said, no, we're coming to a pivotal point in what's happening. Don't get involved. And obviously that's when his dad got up and decided to start going all smackdown on Ed Warren.
And I thought it was interesting because, and maybe it's my own just naivety, I've been in the field for a few years now, but I'd never heard anyone say a disparaging remark about Ed or Lorraine Warren up until that point. And she wasn't being vindictive. She wasn't out to get him. She's like, no, that's not what happened. She said, because she said she had a private screening before the movie premiered, and Lorraine actually showed up for that screening. And she said they gave each other hugs and they cried, and she said she was sorry, and so I don't think she has a vendetta against the Warrens, but it was just interesting to see that perspective.
And I think I'll eat me words with regards to Ed and Lorraine Warren. I'll change me tune. When I first started looking into what they've done and what they've got the doll, they've got the museum, they've got everything that they have built up over the time. And then they got involved at Ryan Buell. And as we all know, Ryan Buell's not exactly the most reputable person as of late. He hasn't done himself many favours. So therefore, when I seen him, that Ryan Buell was involved with them, they became, in my eyes, not a fraud, not by any stretch, but
guilt by guilt
by
association.
Yeah, that's the way I'd look at it, and you can't always base that the way it is. I mean, me and Kurt I'm sure Kurt will agree with me on this. We've been involved with people in the past who, in hindsight, were probably not the best people to be involved in, and got a chance to move out. We've had the chance to move out the way of them, but yeah, I'm going to leave my words and say that I'm going to look more into Ed and Lorraine Warren and start using a less critical approach, to be fair.
But I think you need to take a critical approach, but not in a negative manner. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I understand.
I take a critical approach to a lot of the paranormal stuff, or the people I see and that, and I sit back and I think about it. I try to put myself in their shoes and that. But I mean, there's always got to be some sort of critical approach in the paranormal in order to further itself. I mean, it's gotten to the point now where it's stagnant. I think the paranormal is stagnant, and you really got to be critical about what's out there, what's being shoved down your throat, what's being shoved into your brain. As let's say you catch a TV show. I don't know. What do you guys think? I mean,
well, to be fair, You've just said something there which has just made me think. You said about the way the paranormal field has stagnated, the way it started to slowly but surely. It's like it hit a peak. It's not going any further. And again, back onto the topic of what the show's about at the moment is paranormal unity. With regards to making sure everyone's not singing from the same hymn book, but you know, stop being so close. Stop acting like this is a football league. Stop acting like it's something where you have to hide your cards. It's not a poker game. We're all after the same thing. So
Right.
I'll give it there. With you saying that, there needs to be more talking. There needs to be more communication between all. And again, when I'm the first person to admit it, I'm the first person to say with regards to the Warrens that I looked at it wrong. But they're opening the case files and they're giving the case files to the public and letting the public look at their case files. They're technically the start of the paranormal field for mainstream media. So
Right.
if they can do it, why the hell can't the rest of the planet? Why does everybody have to dress like a SWAT team and hide behind non-disclosure agreements? And
Well, I think a lot of the confusion falls in what people interpret para-unity to mean.
yes,
To me, paranormal unity means, we have respect for each other. We're working towards the same goal. But that doesn't mean if you don't do some outlandish stuff, I'm not going to be critical in an objective manner. I'm not out to get anybody in the field, but I want everybody that represents this field to be, especially people that aren't that educated, to make sure they're representing the field correctly. But I can't butcher people's evidence because this is the way I look at evidence. Now, I'm not talking about personalities and things people do and agreements they make with movie theaters and TV shows and things. But, when a picture's taken, I'm not there. I don't know. It can look like smoke to me, but maybe it's not. And the reason I say that is because I don't want my evidence critical, because I know if I submit something, then I feel really good about it because I'm the hardest on my own evidence above anybody. So if it gets to the point where I want to share it because I think there might be something there, not that I hold anything back, but if I don't feel 100% confident that there really is something there, then I'm not going to share it. But if I share it, I want somebody going, oh, well, that's just BS, you're lying. Well, you don't know, you weren't there.
If it's not the BS part, what it is for, I think is the fact. Okay, if I do say it's BS, and I wouldn't say that to you, Gabe, but I'm saying in general, I'll explain why I think that. Now, in that way, I have to show my cards and say this is why I feel this could be done. Maybe from a reflection of a camera, or maybe John Joe smoking.
we've done it.
Right.
Back that's kind of floating out.
In the past, okay, we've dealt with people in the past. We've given them our opinion when they've asked for our opinion, and do you know what? Kudos to the people who have done it. Well played by them. We've told them, listen, I don't think this is what you think it is, and there's been occasions where people have gone, that's cool, that's fine. I'm glad you've said that because I had the same doubt. I got passed a piece of evidence as of late to review for somebody, a local group, and the piece of evidence looked a little bit too good to be true. And then when I looked a little bit closer, it was too good to be true because it was fake. And I'm thinking, okay, you guys set up events. I'm not going to mention any names because I'm not getting involved in anything legal. But there's a way you deal with it. You don't falsify.
There's a way you can bring to somebody's attention. Hey, I don't think this is accurate. And like I said, hopefully the people that aren't trying to pull the wool over your eyes will go, okay, I didn't look at it like that way, or oh, I thought the same way. But the people that get offended by it, to make me think that they're trying to pull something over on people. And I think where the disconnect is, that's para-unity to me. But so many people think para-unity means you and I got to hold hands and say kumbaya, and I got to love everything that you do, and you got to love everything that I do. And if that's not the case, then you're a hater. And that's not true.
And if I send something to you, Gary, and you smash it, I'd be like, cool, because I got your opinion on it, because I'm clueless. Or Mo's seen pictures, he'd be like, oh, this is that. I'm like, perfect. That's what I need to hear. It's what I want to hear. It's not like, I'm not sitting there trying to pull the wool over anybody's eyes. I'm a skeptic when it comes to a lot of this stuff, and I'll take it on the chin if I'm not going to make a claim that it's paranormal. I'll just say this is what happened. What's your call? And then I go by that. And that's it. And there's no hurt feelings. I mean, that's just the best way to go.
Right.
That's going to move forward is that.
I'll give you it. I'll definitely give you it. Before we go any further, though, guys, right? Just to point out, I'm going to say hello to a few people in the chat room. We've got Doppelganger 399, we've got a Lunatic, Ghostly Lurker, and we've also got the most of the paranormal names, Kirsten Wildman. Everybody else has got proper paranormal names and Ghosty, and then you got Kirsten Wildman. Well played, well played. Well, anyway, nevertheless, Kirsten's came out with the simplest of comments you could come out with, right? And I love it. It's not a competition. And you know what, right? He couldn't have said it better. It isn't a competition. I'll give you that. There shouldn't be. There's no race to a finish line. If I catch a piece of evidence, I don't care if somebody sees it. For God's sake, when I run a website called hiddenliverpool.com, where we've done a lot of the paranormal stuff, and everything, absolutely everything, audio, video, pictures, documents, everything I had was up on that site for anybody to take and use. I didn't have copyright whatsoever on anything, deliberately, because I didn't see a reason for me to do it. If somebody wanted to use it in their progression, so be it. I didn't even have security on it. You could go on and just look. I didn't care. And that's not me boasting Paranormal Unity in any... The simple way of saying it, right, that you should never hold it so close to your chest. You should never do that. It's not fair. More due to the fact that you might have a piece of critical information to fix somebody else's puzzle.
Right. You might have the missing piece.
Exactly, yeah. If you see how many people out there and how many of the events groups that do the paranormal investigations where you charge excessive amounts of money, they've got backstories for the places they go. Now, just due to the fact that they've got backstories, those backstories have came from somewhere. Somebody's looked into it, somebody's researched it, and all they've done is done it for monetary gain, and it's sad. It is really sad. And a Lunatic said, "My name is not paranormal, it's just not normal." Well played. Well played.
This is the way I would look at it, guys. Mo, if you had a piece of evidence I thought, wow, that's 100% legit,
yeah,
I want to see it. Why? Because I want to go to where you got that and see what I can get. Because then we start making those building blocks and we build off each other's stuff.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I talk to...
That's unity.
Exactly. I'm constantly talking to other groups in Britain with regards to what they've got, what they're up to, where they're going. And there's a couple of groups where they are open enough to say to me, we are here on this night looking for this. And I'm like, cool. I wish you luck. If you need any help from me, if there's anything I can help you with, they say thank you very much. Now, they're open enough as groups, and they've been open. Some of them have been going 6-7 years, which is not 100 years, but it's in the paranormal world, 6 or 7 years is sort of where you realise, is this just something I want to do, or am I going to put my effort into it? And they'll tell me totally openly on Facebook, this is what we're up to. And I think that's decent. That is being transparent. That's being exactly what you should be. It's not as if... So, to be honest with you, more people are trying the hardest at the moment to get themselves on television. Simple as. And
I thought for a while there that was going to die out because it seemed like the genre had not died out per se, but had shifted more paranormal survival and then now the cryptid shows. But I read an article a couple weeks back that said Destination America is looking at going to nothing but paranormal programming, at least at night, for 5 days a week, sometime this year, and eventually every night, starting by the end of the year.
And they're doing it because I can come be right before work at 11 a.m. I can turn on the show, and whether it's some cryptid show, whether it's a haunting, whether it's paranormal survivor, whether it's attacked by ghosts. I'm making that one up. It's they are there. I mean, it's like they're trying to corner the market over sci-fi. And that in the States, in sci-fi, with ghost hunters, and they have some good movies. I guess they're good movies, but if you're into that, but it's just I don't know. Man. I think sci-fi is like gonna run it into the ground. And it's just,
but you know what? Sci-fi really only has ghost hunters anymore. But
not
they used to have
ghost hunters. Destination America. My apologies.
They may, but you know what? There's obviously an audience out there because they keep getting the ratings for it. Now, whether that's serious people in the field or that's people that just like watching paradrama and para shows, I don't know.
Well, I'll bring something up. I had a guy I knew years ago who did my show with me sometimes, didn't do it. All of a sudden, he's on the new Demon show, Demon Hunter or whatever it's called on Destination America. And
New,
now,
new
Ralph
Demon
Sarchi
Show.
one?
yeah,
Sorry,
the new
sorry,
Devil,
Chris.
the Demon Show.
I've got to
It-
interrupt because I'm British. We haven't got any demon shows because
Yeah, this one is called like Demon Hunter or something. And this guy's on the show. I go, I know him, and he's not psychic, and he's claiming to be psychic because he wanted to be on TV. And it's all to say. I won't say names or anything. But I'm laughing. I'm going, shaking my head, going, I can't believe this. You know, this is just a joke to me.
yeah, I can imagine. Do you know what? Demonology is the worst thing to ever come out of the paranormal. It's the best way to prove that, unfortunately, there are hipsters in the paranormal. That's the simple answer. There are hipsters. There's got to be those trendsetters who believe they are not part of a status quo, but sadly they are part of a status quo. They follow the trend. They are the sheep. They watch Ghost Adventures and copy what the Ghost Adventures guys are doing meticulously, without realizing slowly but surely that they are in it for an entertainment factor, and sadly they're not in it for a research factor. What they don't realize is a lot of that team were in a film school, or done a lot of film work, sorry. That to me, that's TV. It's a totally different ballgame to where we are. And I've had people ask me a million times what you do in your time off, what you do when you're not working, what you do when you're not researching bits of history. And the only thing I can think of is I chase shadows in the dark with a torch for no apparent reason. And that's it. That's all we do, unfortunately.
Over here we call that a hate crime.
Yeah. I call it common burglary. Oh my dear God.
Yeah, so I think the round of probably that Paranormal Naked show is probably going to make around all the groups again.
See, I might
it seemed
watch
like
that.
for like a year, our group's mailbox was constantly bombarded with, "Hey, I'm with so and so network. I'm with so and so production company. We've got an idea for a show." I mean, we got fairly along in the process.
Yeah.
To the point that we were pretty close to signing contracts, and then one of the crew that we were to work with decided they wanted up their fees, and the production company goes, "Nah, we're done. We're scrapping the whole thing." So, we kind of learned our lesson from that, and then now you get those, and you're like, sure, you want me to be on TV? Got it.
We asked the name.
And that's not to dog people that are on TV. If the opportunity presented and you want to pay me to do something that I like, I'm down. But it's just there's too many of bad potential shows out there that I don't want to be a part of.
No.
Well, we asked Brian Cano. I apologize to Brian because he's a really good guy, but I never get his name right. I don't know if it's Kano or Cano. So, Brian, I asked him with regards to the show, what was the best thing and the worst thing of the show? And I think this is about 5 or 6 episodes back. And he said to me, the best part of the show, you get to choose the pieces of equipment you want. You have a bottomless pit for finances. So if you want to get a FLIR camera that costs 26 grand, the company gets you it. What's the worst part about the show? And he went, the producers and the directors, or the producers. I went, why is that? He went, because they are literally blood-sucking fiends. And I was like, really?
He went off. He went off on that.
Mm-hmm. And I've heard that from other people. I had Jax Atwell from Missing in Alaska on my show, and he said, he goes, I enjoyed it. He goes, I would do it again in a heartbeat. He said, but you need to understand, when you do it, you're becoming a slave. You're at the mercy of the production company on how they want shows to go. He's like, that's not to say they fake anything, but he's like, there's concessions you have to make if that's what you want to do.
You want to sell your soul to be on TV.
You got to remember these TV shows. I know Jason Hawes is very well thought of in the field, and they've done some groundbreaking stuff on Ghost Hunters and even Ghost Adventures too. Yeah. But any of these other shows outside the big two, I feel, cast people because of the characters they are. Not because of their experience or their ability to work in the field. It's what type of television character can you be and are you appealing?
It's actors. A lot of it that I've talked to these people, not necessarily on Mo and I's show, but when I help out on the other show, a lot of them, and I'm not going to say who, what, are actors. Off camera, they tell us all about it, and you're like, oh, so-and-so's an actor. They tell me, or this person was an actor. We needed an actress. on this show. And to me, it's understandable because it's all about ratings. Bottom line, it's about money. I
Yeah.
live 15 minutes from the Discovery Channel. I live 15 minutes down there, so I get to see some filming of different stuff at some local places that I work at. And they sent me there for personal reasons to keep an eye on the historical stuff. But it's interesting though about about some of these people are actors and actresses long before they even knew about the paranormal.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but I think some of them just touch lucky. I mean, when you've got people like, Chad Lindbergh. Chad Lindbergh's a classic example. And Keith, before you start, you shut up. Don't start.
Oh, does somebody's finger hurt? Does somebody's finger hurt too? Yeah.
For those who are wondering what
Sorry,
the Americans' lips are slapping
I found a
together.
whole bunch of cotton on the floor. I thought I'd have. Go ahead, Mo. Keep going, dude.
If everyone wants to know what's happened with Kate, I've just scalded my fingers before the show, and I'm a real man, and I've came on here, and then I'm going to cry afterwards when I'm gone back. Well, anyway, yeah, but you look at Chad Lindbergh. The guy was a TV celebrity. He was in a few films. He was in Supernatural, and he has a genuine infatuation with the paranormal. And don't get me wrong, he's scared of Wednesdays. He's scared of the number 3. He gets scared very easily on the show. I understand why. Not everybody feels comfortable in a dark area or tucked out the way effectively. But I think he's one of the rare breeds of people who, yes, he's a celebrity. Yes, he might use celebrity status to get himself into investigating, but that's not technically a bad thing. He doesn't exactly associate himself with everybody who are credible, unfortunately. But that's just the way it is. Now, I mean, sorry for segueing away from the show a little bit, but we have actually, I'll bring it back. We interviewed a guy about 3 weeks ago, a guy called Mike Diamond. And as a guy goes, he was so laid back, not too laid back where he'd fall over, but he was laid back enough to say that he was the picture person for Paranormal Unity. There is no two ways about it. He started a website called ParanormalData.com and Paranormal Warehouse. And what his job is, he's got a place where everybody can go along, put your evidence through. You can either have evidence for peer review, you can put your evidence there for people to look at, or you can write your old ghost stories down and put them on there. You register and it all goes to the same place. And the one simple thing with doing that is there is one place on the internet which has a central point for you to go and see what has happened at what location before you even contemplate going. Is it a good or bad thing? It's a great idea. It's a bit of a yin-yang situation, because it's great because you've got all the evidence you need to go and look at a place, but it's also bad for the people who decide they want to be a fake medium, and they can go, I sent a child here because they read it on his site effectively. And I asked him the question, and he said, well, we'll try and vet them to the best of our ability, which again, the guy was an absolute legend for it. But he sort of opened me up a little bit more towards Paranormal Unity at the time, because me and Kate have worked with somebody. When you mentioned Paranormal Unity, he used to physically scoff at it. He was like, "Oh, it's just an excuse for people to bang tambourines." Was pretty much the way he talked, and it was just a brilliant gauge of character. But in hindsight now, I look back and I think, do you know what? This isn't going to go any further as a field without the Unity. Fact, without anybody sitting there and talking, it won't. That's where we are. In a sad way.
But with the Unity thing, you got to be careful also with, if you're going to share some of your information, let's say with another team or this or that, you got to be very careful though with the integrity of that team, because I
you don't
can't
want your evidence associated with someone who's got a questionable reputation.
That's what it is, because it all comes back to you then, and it's kind of rough. It'd be like, so it's like you got to know that group, or not know them, but just have an idea what they're about, what they're willing to do with that information, without trying to, let's say, put a ghost, an app on it, and all of a sudden you're getting blamed for this picture that's got the ghost girl from like The Grudge on it. You got to be very careful who you share your information with. And it's not being it's a bit being skeptical, but at the same time, it's also for I don't know, what I'd say, the importance for your team.
It's a because there are groups that I know of that there's no way in hell I would. Oops, sorry, I said.
Dude, it doesn't matter.
The
Doesn't
first
matter.
You're in Britain.
information with.
You're in Britain. There's no bad swear.
Okay, all right.
Don't worry. You're fine.
Yeah. Okay. And so there's teams like that yeah, you're right. I'm not giving my evidence out to them just so that they can pile on and associate their name with it. But then there's other groups that are like, yeah, here, this is what I found. Tell me what you find when you get there.
Yeah. That's the type of people you need to be. That will get us a progression, because if you, oh my God, it's going to sound so horrible, but I'm going to rephrase it. I'm not going to use that. I was going to use
Just
an
say it, dude. Just say it.
No, I'm not going to do it. No, I'm not going to do it.
Good,
What I am going to say
good,
is, if you've got so many people trying to get to one source, not everybody will get there. It won't go any further. If a load of people try to aim for the same common goal, it'll get there. And that's the same as doctors do it, scientists do it. No scientist or doctor on the planet will hold a diagnosis from the next one. They'll try and all, well, scientists maybe, but doctors won't. Doctors will try their hardest to collate answers between each other and come out with a common answer, and that's the way it should be, like a peer review. We have had a question come through from a lunatic from Vita Lunatic in the chat room. What is your preferred type of investigation? Now I'm going to ask you first, Gary.
As far as what? I'm not quite sure I understand.
Paranormal investigation. What is your preferred type of investigation? Is it? I'm going to go as far as saying, do they mean what is it you use? What approach do you go at it with?
You know what? I approach everything as if I'm carrying on a conversation with the dead, to try and learn about them. I found I've had better results than saying, "What is your name? Do you know you are dead? Why are you here?" You know. But if you go, "Hey, my name's Gary. Probably wondering why I'm here. This is why I'm here."
Hey, I'm Gary. I'm a Pisces. I like walks on the beach.
Yeah, exactly. I like walks on the margaritas. My favorite food is pizza. What's yours? You get way better results. You really do. So I take it as a learning experience. I try to learn about the spirits that are there.
Yeah, no, it's a good way of doing it. Now, Kate, if you get ever asked the same question, right? Your favorite food is dead.
My favorite food is dead?
Yeah, that's all that matters. It's just got to be dead.
My favorite food?
Yeah, it's just got to be dead.
Blood pudding, man. I mean, come on.
Yeah, well played.
I gotta try blood pudding one day,
Was
man.
it Christmas?
Yeah, I don't know. The Brits eat it all the time. It's why most teeth are crooked, dude. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah.
Nah, he's Liverpool. They're straight.
Your turn, Kate.
Well, go ahead with your question again, dude.
Right, the question was, what is your preferred type of investigation?
Oh, I like battlefields, man. I like going out on battlefields. Since I live near so many Civil War battlefields, and there's so much energy and death that have gone on there, dude, you could go in the daytime and work on EVPs and everything else. I mean, you might not catch that shadow figure walking through the cornfield, but there are things you might actually catch. And I thrive on those battlefield things. It's because I'm a history geek, too. I mean, those two kind of they correlate. So.
No, I'll give you
if
that.
I could follow up on mine, I would say I wouldn't understand that's what they meant. I like hospitals and asylums. I've gotten great, evidence, and same with what Kurt was saying. Those types of places you can go to during the day, provided your ambient noise outside is quiet enough.
Yeah,
pick up EVPs and get information and get evidence. So, battlefields are cool though too.
Cool. Now for my turn. What's my best type of investigating? Let's see. One where I don't get arrested. One where it's close enough so I can get home.
Good points.
Yeah, see, I think these things out. I carry more geekery and technology than I need to.
Why is that? And I don't mean that against you, but like every team I've ever been a part of, every team I've seen has that one guy that brings like seven full of stuff.
It's him.
And I'm like, but we never use any of this stuff. Ed Bogrowski's been on your show on our team as our tech guy. He brings like 5 cases. I'm like, dude, we never use any of this stuff.
Don't you? You know why Ed does that? Because Ed's a legend. That's why. Ed Bogrowski is an absolute legend. That's why he does it. No other purpose. Me and Ed are the same people.
The best part, Gary, I saw this one investigation they're about to go on. I guess it was an old orphanage back in the 1800s, and the Mo took a picture of all the stuff that he was bringing with him. He had suitcases with wheels and everything else, and I was so blown away by the amount of gear, or kit, as they say in England, that he was bringing with him. I was just like, do you get help setting that up? And he was like, no. He took a picture of his team staring at him while he was setting up everything he needed to while they were eating pizza. And
don't break me toys.
True story.
Don't break me toys. That's what it is. That's all it is. Do not break my toys. No,
it makes me miss the days of the DVR system.
Oh, that's it. That's exactly where we are now. As I said, everything I've done, I've made it so it literally quick release. That's the best part about being a geek. If I've got something, if I've got a plan in mind, for instance, at the moment I'm building what's called a camera slider, which is it's a platform. You can put your camera on. You can do some really good, nice, like atmospheric, like sweeping shots. And I'm not paying £300, £400 for one when I know I can build one and program a board to take care of it. So that's my plan. A lunatic's just poison the toys. Lol. Yep. That's it, basically. But if it wasn't for the geekery, I think, again, we'd be back to parlour tricks. Sadly, we'd be back to the ways it used to be a long, long time ago, where, you'd sit there and shout into the darkness and wait for an answer. Technology is just literally a little bit of a helping hand to get us up a little... What's the word? We need it to get us. It's that little step up to get us there, and I think we need it. To be fair, it's simple as. We did have another question in the chat room a little bit earlier, and I wasn't being rude by ignoring it because I was also talking at the same time. I do that a lot. The question was, what got you guys into the paranormal community, and why do you do what you do? Right, Gary, you can go first on this one again because you're the guest.
Okay. I had a personal experience when I was 11. I saw a shadow figure in my home that I shared with just my mom. So that sparked my interest at age 11. But it wasn't until I moved to Columbus, Mississippi, with the military that I actually ended up stopped playing soccer for a hobby. And I saw, all the kudos to them, ghost hunters that just appeared on TV. I looked at it and I went, they're helping people. I want to do this. I have an interest in this. I feel this stuff exists, and I get to help somebody. That's why I do it. And my number one goal is to help people. Number two is to prove the unprovable. But we talked earlier about working towards a common goal. My goal is to help people. So if I can't do that, I have no problem checking my ego at the door and having someone else from another team or another expert or another skill set come in and help these people, because that is what I'm there for.
Yeah.
Is to make people feel safe and empowered in their own home or their business or whatever the case may be.
Oh, cool. Well played, well answered. Kate, your turn.
I was the creepy kid. Let me give you an example. I was always a creepy kid. And I'm saying this in kind of like so Mo would laugh. Okay. I always had this thing when I was in elementary school as far as God. Okay. It's elementary school. But they always had like these ghost books in the library. So it was always library day, and I'd see the ghost books, so I'd fight my way to the corner because, I'd grab it. But I had a couple things happen to me, and I never have brought it up with Mo or anything, because I don't buy it because I was a kid. I had 2 times I saw a lady, and believe it or not, Mo, you're going to laugh at this one. I'd wake up, I'd look, and there's a lady lying down by my bed, and she was a ginger. I swear to God, she was a ginger. But then she'd raise herself up and down. You call BS. I thought it was BS. I didn't know what I was seeing. And it used to happen, and then it stopped. And but then I got, I get older. You start playing around in cemeteries, and then from there you move on to other places. But it's always been a history thing for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's a history aspect. Without history, you're not going to get a lot of this paranormal kind of jab stuff that you get. So, Mo, your go.
Priceless. Before we go any further, Kirsten in the chat room's put that gingers have no souls.
Who said that? Well, that person had no soul. Scared the hell out of me.
No. I wish you'd get access to my WhatsApp chat for the past 3 years to Kate of being soulless gingers, how we believe gingers are vampires as well. They're vampires. They can't go in sunlight. It is. They can't go in sunlight. They have no soul. They don't like people.
Yeah,
Vampires?
they'll suck you dry. They're worse than an incubus or a succubus.
Yeah, yeah.
They are gingers.
Yeah, hell yeah, hell yeah. Now, for my why did I get into the paranormal? I wish there was a simple answer. I wish I could say I saw something. What it is, I'm just one of those weird, moody kids. Simple as. When I was younger, I was just one of those kids who was just weird and moody. Now,
There you go. Nothing wrong with that, dude.
yeah, and with regards to when I got slightly older, the reason I got into the paranormal investigating side was I heard a few people ask a question. I wonder what it takes to get into the paranormal. What do you need to do to investigate? And then I just thought to myself, get loads of torches, get some voice recorders, get a camera, find something creepy, go and have a look at it. You've investigated. Simple as that. It's like when you hear people moaning about not being able to go on a date because they've got a confidence issue. I can't go on a date because I'm really worried. Well, you can go on a date, you'll just be really worried on the date. Just go. But my logic doesn't work normal, like the rest of the planets, unfortunately. I kind of just do what I want to do and then look at the fallout straight after it. So when it came to investigating, I was heavy into history, always have been, and I spoke to a load of people with regards to unfinished history, and they all kept coming back with, what's your opinion on this? Oh, this place is haunted. And then this one day I just said to my lifelong best friend at the time, I said to him, are you ready to go and have a look at somewhere? Would you want to go and try investigate? And he was like, okay, done. And that was it. That was like the start of my entire demise, which is the paranormal field for me. But, no. Oh god, it's perfect. It's perfect. If it wasn't for the history side of things, we wouldn't be where we are. That's the thing. Without being able to research, I mean, it's classic. You see people on the television, on the shows, and what they have a tendency of doing is they will turn up. There'll be a big moody shot. They'll all get out the car, throw the stuff on the floor, go inside, set the cameras up, investigate the building for 12 minutes, maybe 14 minutes, sit there and do evidence review, and then they'll call it a day. And then you don't realise there's 4 days behind that. 4 days of setup and 4 days of everything. But if you don't mind, another question came through in the chat room, which is, what has been your best evidence to date? And I'm going to start with you, Gary.
Well, that I've personally caught, personal experience-wise, I know some people laugh at that. I saw a full figure face. I was investigating a hotel in Sebring, Florida, a couple years back, and there were 2 twin beds in the room, and my partner was on the other bed. I was on this bed. We had a K2 meter in between us on the floor, and we were communicating with what we thought was a spirit. And in front of me, there was a mirror on the wall, and the lights were out, but there was enough light that I could see. And I happened to look up, and as I looked in the mirror, there was a lady's face right here over my shoulder. And I'm not gonna lie, it startled me. I kicked my light on. What the heck? What the heck? What the heck? Did you see that? Did you see that? My buddy Wes said, no, I didn't see it. What did you see? And this is next door to a room where a lady had committed suicide. And I'll remember till the day I die, the lady's face that I saw was in such pain and such agony that I want to help her. I want to go back there and see if there's some way I can help get her to a better place. Yeah. Because she just looks so pained and so just in agony, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Now, as far as captured evidence, I've had a bunch. I've been really blessed. I started in Mississippi, so we had a lot of battlefields and a lot of war-related areas we investigated there. My voice was called through a ghost box when I wasn't even on the floor. The other team members heard it. Here in Florida, we had investigated this lady's house, and we decided as a group we were going to go to 7-Eleven and get some drinks and let kind of what happens in the house while nobody's there, see what happens. So I left my voice recorder on the coffee table, and we left. We drove like 3 blocks away. For the entire half hour we were gone, you heard bang, you heard voices, you heard people walking, and then you can hear in the background us coming back up the driveway. As soon as you hear the doorknob click, everything goes silent in the house.
That's weird.
It was cool. It was very cool.
That's good. That I like.
I've had a lot of experiences at the South Florida Mental Hospital in North Miami.
Yeah.
I've seen a figure in the window staring at us. That was really cool. That was my first night going, and I'd heard all these scary stories and all these people that have caught this wonderful evidence. And I kid you not, the first night I went, I'm like, nothing happened. I'm like, well, this is kind of a bummer, but that happens sometimes. So we're packing stuff up outside, and I happened to look up, and I asked the guy that was running the investigation. I said, hey, is everybody out of the building? He says, yeah, we're all here packing our stuff. I'm like, who's that dude up there looking at us out the window? And there probably 10 of us turned and looked, and you could see someone standing there looking out the window.
I can imagine that.
I made a beeline for that area, and where I got to, there was one way in and one way out, and no one passed me. But by the time I got there, there was nothing there.
I can imagine that now, looking up and you're seeing it, that shadowy figure in the window.
It's creepy, man. I mean, I'm not going to lie. I don't get scared on investigations, but I get startled and I get creeped out sometimes. Yeah. And hospitals creep me out. Those long corridors with all the open doors creep me out, but I love to investigate them.
Right, cool. Kate, do you want to go next?
Yeah, I got two things, actually. Probably shouldn't share one because it was not my... Well, I was there with the evidence, and it did come up on my... recorder for an EVP. I don't think I ever told you about it. I was one time I was in Gettysburg. Yeah. We were sitting at across the street from Devil's Den, and this is some friend of mine. And we had all of a sudden I hear this voice, or I hear it sounds like a radio signal going through between me and this person sitting on the other rock. I'm like, that's strange. I go, oh, I guess I left a recorder on. No, I go through. I had 4 recorders going. All at once, and they were all recording. And when it came back, it was run through real quick. Yeah. And the person who ran it through, it just said our park. And they sent it to me. And I was like, that's pretty weird, because Gettysburg is a park right now. And it was so far away from anybody who could, any interference or anything else. And I thought that was kind of odd, hearing, a disembodied voice and being able to pick it up. Also, one time, we were in Missouri, and we had a recorder, a Tascam outside. I had another Sony on the inside, and it picked up what sounded like Native American flute playing, and it picked up real slow on the Tascam, so it's real long sounding. Native American flute, but on mine, it picked up real quick, but you can hear it. You're like, dude, that's strange. I don't know what it is. I can't explain what it is, and I'm not going to say it's paranormal. It's just unexplained. That's all I'll know. Go ahead, Bo. What about you, dude?
Right, two things. One of them's technically not a paranormal experience, more of a, I'll go as far as saying supernatural, what the hell, right? Went to an investigation. When I say investigation, for those who are in the chat room now and those who are new viewers, this a type of investigating we like to call brick and ladder, which basically means that if it's an abandoned building, you can skip a fence. In Britain, you get away with it. In America, they try and hang you or shoot you.
I've done it. Don't do it. That's all I got to say. I've gotten busted for it. Don't do it. And I don't do it now. So.
Yeah. No, I never, ever. Oh, and a question just came in the chat room, which this is also going to correlate to, which I'll mention in a second. But what happened was, we skipped the fence and we went into a big old asylum in the middle of Wales. It's massive. And we were blessed this one night where there was only really us and another group of people who were there. And the group of people who were there were blind, paralytic drunk. So we just left them to their own devices, hoped they didn't fall down a hole and die, because in that place there are holes into cellars everywhere. We went into the nurses' quarters, and when we were in the nurses' quarters, it's this big, long building. It's a big whitewashed front building, and the saddest part while we were there was walking past the nurses' quarters, and each room had different coloured wallpaper. Each room had a floral wallpaper that was just different. And when you look in, it sort of makes it, first thing you think is, oh, big lunatic asylum, let's go there. And then when you see that, it brings it home a little bit, and you think, oh no, people actually lived, this was their lives. And it made me feel a little bit different and a little bit more calmer, and a little bit sad, to be fair, because people literally devoted their lives to taking care of the mentally ill. And then as we turned the left, or I think we did, you got to the end, we turned left and then turned right into this room. We went into the room, there's a pentagram on the floor, all kinds of weird markings all over the wall. In the middle of the pentagram is a brown substance on the floor. I swear it was blood. Fact, it was blood. The room looked like it had been used in some form of ritual. We thought it was weird. Took a few photographs, which, if anybody wants to see what those photographs are, find us on Instagram under the name BTWN Paranormal. The pictures are up there. And not just that, which what made it a little bit worse from there is we went to the exact opposite side of the building to check out the other side of the building, and in the same room on the exact opposite side of the building, mirror image, the same stuff, just without the blood. And I thought, that's just messed up. So we disappeared from there. And as for the second piece of evidence, not evidence, second thing that just happened, which I caught on video, I'll post it, but it's going to be a bloopers video, I can guarantee you. We were in an investigation in an old stately home, which was linked to a convent. We went up the stairwell of the convent, got to the 3rd floor, I think it was, and I had the camera running. I was the 3rd person in a line of people going up. There was, well, 3 of us. I was the last person going up. And then I swapped places with the guy in front so that I could film up the stairwell. As I'd done that, we get up there. The building was totally locked off for us. You hear a shuffle of feet, so we all 3 of us stop, and then the next minute, it sounded like footsteps pounding towards us, and it didn't sound small. Do you know when you get that split second where you think, what could it be? Is it a door? And you hear shuffle, shuffle of the feet, and you think, no, that's feet. And then you hear thump, 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 and I said, boys, time to go. We turned around, and I was like, I don't care who you are. If you are Sylvester Stallone, if you are in the darkness and someone's running towards you, the first thing you're going to do is flip around and run. And I had my tripod, my monopod for my camera, so I unscrewed it off my camera, and I thought, if it comes to it, I swear to God, I'm going to swing this at somebody's head, and one of us is going down. But the bad news with it is, I don't even know if I swung it at anybody, whether it would actually connect or just pass through them. I was like, this is not good. But do you know what made it worse? We had to pass through 4 automatically closing doors. You know the ones where you open it, just sort of swings itself shut. Yeah. We had to pass through 4 more of them from the stairwell. And when we got to the very, very last one, I swear I heard footsteps again, and I was like, how? The doors were shut. We shut the doors and made sure the doors were shut because the building was alarmed. And it was at that point on that night we decided, we all sat there, cameras out, and I said, no, this is where we call tonight. Let's go home. This is enough now. Something was not right. And we've been back since, and other stuff's happened in the same place. But that, for me, had to be one of those times where I'm the smallest out of 3 people, and even the other 2 ran. I was like, no, I'm sorry. It was total darkness, and it was haunting. But it just sort of, it woke me up to the fact that maybe, you know, going into a building, don't ever go in overconfident. Don't ever go in thinking, yeah, if something happens, I'll be fine. Always be aware that maybe that one day something's going to happen that you're not 100% capable of dealing with, because you watch on Ghost Adventures that he sees a shadow and he goes, ooh, shadow. Not, oh, Jesus Christ, I've just seen something, which is totally defies everything I've ever been taught in life. But there's always one idiot, and I'm sad to say it's Mo today. No. Has anybody ever felt threatened on an investigation? Please revert to previous answer for me. So, Gary, as for you?
Yeah, there's been a couple times where I've walked into a building and I was not feeling the energy that was in there, or particular parts of a building. You know, there's different types of energy, and they feel different. And when you walk into a place and you just get that spine-chilling feeling that says, you're not supposed to be here,
yeah,
I turn around and beat feet. Because it's not worth it to me to risk my own health, or by chance, you know, risk an attachment, or, you know, something's letting me know, hey, you're not supposed to be here.
This ain't your place.
And yeah, so I respect that, and I back out. My group, you know, we work with the paranormal clergy, so we go in and investigate, and if our evidence points to something being demonic or something gets real crazy, we back out and turn it over to them. We're like, hey, that's not our skill set. That's not what we do. So, yeah, definitely. It hasn't happened a lot, but, you know, I tell people, just in general, too, besides that, if you're sitting in the dark, in the middle of the night, in a building you're not familiar with, and you can't see anything, and it's really quiet, and all of a sudden you hear BAM! You're going to jump.
Yeah,
people get startled. You're not scared, but you get startled. So, you know, but yeah, there's definitely some places you walk into and you're like, bad juju, not going in here.
Yeah, been there, been there. Now, Kate, it's a question I'm going to ask you first, which has appeared in the chat room. Is what is? Let's see where I've lost the question now. What are you most scared of?
Getting arrested.
Oh.
I'm kidding. I just want to get your reaction on that one right there. Gary's all serious and stoic, and Mo's like, "Jeez."
Do that. I live in Britain.
And I
It's like
just wanted to get
I'm
your
the least
reaction.
worried about getting arrested.
Yeah, I'm kidding. Okay, repeat the question again.
What are you most scared of?
Nothing. I mean, to paranormal? Nothing. Unless I'm getting like punched in the face by something that doesn't exist. Yeah, I'd be a little freaked on that. Don't get me wrong. But I've had times where I was hearing voices. No, not in my head. That comes usually when I'm off air.
Before, during, or after medication?
Yeah, when I'm off the medication. It's I've heard a couple times. I heard voices, and I kind of did a flip. I'm like, hold on a second. I'm in the middle of nowhere, and I'm in this abandoned house in the middle of nowhere, and I hear two guys talking, and I'm like, hold on a second. We're out in the middle of nowhere by the Mississippi River. No one's out here, but I hear a conversation going on.
Yeah.
And I was like, and I said it to the person I was with, and I'm not going to say on air who it was. It's like, listen, they're we were in there. I heard two voices. Best we go check it out. And she drove around back. She goes, see, there's nobody there. I go, but I heard the two voices. Kind of made me a little skittish. I got skittish after that, and I'll be honest about that. Because when you hear two guys talking, and you're out in the middle of nowhere, and it's not in your area. I'm a city person. I'm used to a city area, but this is out in the middle of nowhere. So, I'm in somebody else's territory. That's the way I look at it. It's kind of creepy, dude. But that's the way I look at it. I admit it. That one I almost put a runner on it.
No, I understand. I understand. Now, I'm not going to ask you the same question, Gary. I've got a question for you.
Okay.
Very simple question. I've asked every single person we've ever interviewed this question. I'm going to ask you it, and I'm going to hope you've got an answer for me, and you've got to have an answer. If you haven't,
he has to. It's a must.
It is. It's part and parcel of coming on the show. I'm sorry you have to answer this question, right? What is the most embarrassing thing that has happened to you on investigation?
The most embarrassing thing that's ever happened to me on an investigation. I've cracked my head a couple times in dark spaces.
No, dude, no, that's average investigation.
Everybody does that.
That doesn't count.
We got to think embarrassing, man.
Terrible cop out.
Okay, all right, I'll give you one. I got caught belching on an EVP.
I'll give you that.
That's good. That's good. You're getting there.
That's okay. Okay, yeah. Dig deeper. You got to dig deeper.
Yeah.
Dude, I've caught an investigation member urinating on one of the EVPs. Literally, I heard somebody walk outside. Investigation. It was one with my wife. And me, she's laughing her head off now.
She remembers. I'm sure she remembers it.
And all you heard was, I was listening intently to this audio recording on the way to work. What I do is I'll convert all my audio to MP3, put it on my phone, and when everyone thinks I'm listening to music, I'm reviewing audio. And I'm walking through, and in the next minute, I'm walking through the park early in the morning, and I've got the headphones in, and I hear zip. Oh no, that was it. Thud, 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 thud. And I thought, I can hear footsteps. Ooh, this is good. What time's this at? So I check, and I go, hang on, what's that noise? Zip, trickle, 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 trickle. Two girls talking. And then a rustle, and then a zip, and then they both walk past the camera. I was like, oh, you dipshits. Pardon my French. I was like, oh my God. But no, I'll never let that one go. And that person's still on my team at the moment.
That's awesome.
I'm just not going to bring it up until such a time as this individual feels remarkably cocky, and I'll just go, listen, I've got you need to step down now. But oh no, it's priceless.
But Mo though, and this is what I love about Mo, his balancing ability. It gets a little odd, I guess, when he's carrying certain gear and stuff like that. Was playing in a cemetery. I don't know why he was playing in a cemetery, but in England, you talk about the 1500s, 1600s, and the indentations that happen in the ground. Well, my friend right here chose to walk backwards and fall right on top of
fell into a grave.
Right on top of the tombstone. Or
Yeah.
tomb. I apologize.
Where the ground sinks when the coffin gives in, the ground sinks.
Yeah.
I walked back, and I had my camera, and I was ready to take a shot at the side of the church, and I just went back. And as I hit the floor, I'm looking at my team members, thinking, "These guys, they're going to help me. These guys are going to help me up."
Too
And
busy
do you know
laughing.
No, do you know what they done? It was worse. One of my team members stood there, stone-faced. Aaron, you know Aaron. He stood there, stone-faced, and went and took a photograph of me. No smiles, no giggles, no laughing. He just went and took a photograph. And I was like, "Dude, thank you very much."
Hey guys, I hate to do this, but I got to step. But thank you so much for having me on tonight.
No, you rock, Gary, man. Anytime, brother.
Gary, you're welcome. Listen, I hope all's well, but thank you very much for coming on, and we'll catch you soon, man.
Yeah.
Got it. All right. Take it easy, guys.
Take it easy, brother.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
All right, see you. Mo, before you hang up, dude, I'm sorry I had to do that to you, dude. Oh, hey, you know what that guy John Kalick did for us? Gave us Chad Lindbergh's information. He found it for us on IDBM. His contact, his person he books, and everybody else. But I can't find it, and it's pissing me off. I wrote it down. Yeah, Kalick hooked us up, dude. That guy was epic.
Yeah.
Behind the scenes, he was I wouldn't fuck with that guy if my life depended on it. Dude, we had
oh my god! What you've just done there is crammed every single swear word that we were not going to do into like.
Oh, and people on air that you can see this, I truly apologize for that because this guy was epic. This guy and the guy from Curse, epic. The guy was incredible. You check out the video. It's under BTWN, Underground Science.
Yeah.
He's a guy. It was Curse, Spell Witch. The best show, one of the better shows I've been on. The guy is great. Check it out. It's well worth it. And I was discussing with Bill, but we did get what's his name. So now it's up to you, my friend, from across the pond, to make the phone call and say, "Oh, mate, yeah, right, mate.
Right,
bruv. Hey, bruv. No, actually, that's Cockney. I refuse.
Yes, it is.
I refuse to put you in the same boat as a Cockney person. No Cockney.
No.
No. You're Scouse, dude. Scouse rules. Cockney's done. I'll keep it at that.
Okay, right. Well, guys, we are going to cut it now. It's Gary is an amazing guest. We've known Gary for a very long time. Gary's out of a group called P.R.O.O.F. He's also the the host of a show called Unlocking the Unknown, and he is showing off 2 shows per week now till the end of January. I think he was saying, wasn't it?
Yes, I believe so.
Yeah, what we'll do is we'll link to his shows in our show notes. We'll link to all our social media, so the Instagram, Twitter, Facebook pages. We'll link to all them in the show notes for this show. And for everybody who's appeared in the chat room tonight to have a little gas bag and to terrorise Kurt and me, well played. Thank you very much for showing up.
Terrorize the hell out of us, because sometimes we get bored terrorizing each other.
Yeah.
So it's very important to
we need help sometimes. Yeah, of course. But listen, guys, again, we'll be back same time. Oh, yeah, and Google Plus. Yeah, there's a Lunatics Just Ask. Yes, Google Plus will also be on there. But again, thank you very much for coming on, guys. We'll be back same time next week with, I think next week's guest is a bit of a secret as far as I'm aware. We're not going to mention them until Tuesday. Either tomorrow or Tuesday when we set up the event, we'll mention them. But we'll sort that out and we'll get it all up and running on Facebook and all of the social media for you guys. So again, thanks for showing up, and we'll catch you next week.
Yeah,
See you again, guys. Bye bye.
Have a great night, ladies and gentlemen.
Good night, guys.